Welcome to another edition of Rogues Gallery, where we rank a superhero's best villains based on your votes. This week, we're looking at the fearsome foes of the God of Thunder, Thor. Just missing out on the top spot this week are the Serpent, the Grey Gargoyle, and Mr. Hyde. With that said, let's start this week's countdown. Number 10, Ulik the Troll. Ulik is a rock troll from the land of Nordheim who first encountered Thor when he was commanded by his king to steal Thor's hammer, Mjolnir. As strong as Thor and possessing knuckle dusters made of Uru, Ulik is every bit the match for the God of Thunder. Number 9, Scourge the Executioner. The Executioner is another fighter capable of going toe-to-toe with Thor, and his obsession with the Enchantress often led to him being manipulated into villainous roles. Scourge redeemed himself as part of Thor's war party into Hell, and stood alone at Galabru to hold the bridge and allow the heroes to escape. Number 8, the Destroyer. The Destroyer isn't so much a villain as a weapon, initially created by Odin to defend Asgard, but often utilized by Thor's enemies to go toe-to-toe with the God of Thunder. Occasionally, the Destroyer is also used as an ally to Thor, and on some occasions, Thor's consciousness has occupied the Destroyer when his body was incapable of fighting on its own. Number 7, Jormungand the Midgard Serpent. An ancient prophecy once stated that Thor would slay the fearsome Midgard Serpent, walk 9 steps, and then fall himself. The serpent appeared on Earth in the guise of the monster Fin Fang Foom, before shedding the disguise to do final battle with the God of Thunder. Though the fight was fierce, Thor slayed the serpent, and Thor was seemingly slain. Number 6, Crusher Creel the Absorbing Man. Crusher Creel was a former boxer incarcerated in prison who drank a liquid laced by Loki, which gave him the ability to possess the qualities of any material he came into contact with. Often seen wielding a wrecking ball while committing crimes with his wife Titania, he became an even more dangerous threat to Thor when he was transformed into one of the serpent's worthy Greythoth, Breaker of Wills. Number 5, the Wrecking Crew. The Wrecker was a petty criminal who once got the best of Loki and received an enchantment meant for the God of Lies, which granted him superhuman strength and made his crowbar super strong. He recruited allies and used a lightning strike to grant them with similar powers, creating the Wrecking Crew. Thunderball wields a wrecking ball, Bulldozer has a helmet which he uses to run into things, and Piledriver has oversized and extra powerful hands. Number 4, Hela. Hela is the goddess of death and rules over the land of Hell, watching over the damned souls confined there. She is often concerned with expanding her territory, whether it be into Valhalla or into other aspects of the concept of Hell, bringing her into conflict with other rulers such as Mephisto. When Thor invaded Hell to retrieve mortal souls, he fought Hela for their freedom, and though he won the day, his face was horrifically scarred. Number 3, Malekith the Accursed. Malekith is a dark elf from the realm of Svartalfheim, who first troubled Thor when he stole the Casket of Ancient Winters and unleashed endless ice and snow throughout the world. He was eventually captured by Thor and killed by Curse while disguised as Balder the Brave. Malekith returned in later years and cut a swath of destruction through his own homeland, slaughtering his own people in a quest to make the Dark Elves strong again. The Dark Elves eventually united under Malekith as Svartalfheim took its place in the Congress of Worlds. Malekith became obsessed with the rings of the Mandarin when he was approached by the Spectral Ring, and began a campaign to gain control of all 10 rings. Outmaneuvered by Iron Man, Malekith abandoned his quest and later turned his attention to Thor's sister, Angela, by taking the place of her lover, Sarah. Number 2, Amora the Enchantress. As a child, Amora ran away to Nordheim and apprenticed under Karnilla until she was cast out for being too undisciplined. After being similarly cast out of the Valkyrie for her immoral ways, Amora struck out as her own person with her own plans. She seduced Scourge the Executioner to be her muscle and set about trying to woo the God of Thunder so that she could have the Prince of Asgard under her spell. Amora spends more time in Midgard than many of Thor's Asgardian threats, and at times has allied with the likes of Baron Zemo and Doctor Doom. She has a sister named Lorelei who often utilizes similar strengths, and was perhaps more successful in seducing Thor with the help of Loki. Amora allied with Donald Blake, separated from Thor and craving godhood, but betrayed him and turned him into the monstrous Keep in an effort to take over Asgardia, and was later briefly inverted to the side of good during Red Onslaught's World War Hate. And number 1, Thor's own stepbrother, the god of mischief, Loki. Loki is the son of the frost giant Ymir, left abandoned in the snow following his father's defeat and discovered by Odin. Taken in and raised as Odin's son, he grew up with Thor as his best friend and brother, but Loki's mischievous ways eventually led to a rift which grew to be a full-on resentment as he took on the title of the God of Mischief. Loki sees himself as the true and rightful heir of Asgard, and his plans often involve him taking out Thor, Odin, or a combination of both as part of his quest for the throne. A schemer more than a fighter, Loki will often trick others to do his bidding and enjoys meddling in the lives of Midgardians for fun. Following his death at the hands of the Void, Loki was resurrected in the form of a young child who was horrified to learn what his older self had done. Although he tried his best to atone for his past crimes, he was eventually killed and subsumed by a remnant of his older self's personality, who was a lot more morally gray than either old Loki or kid Loki, and recently showed his true colors when he killed his mother, Freya. That's it for this week's Rogues Gallery. Check out the latest poll on Comics Alliance to make your voice heard in future videos.